Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is Baccalaureate 2015 to honor our graduating seniors from Woodland High School. Would you please stand in honor of the graduates as they file in? They will have a seat and then we'll have you be seated. If you would remain standing, I would like to invite graduating senior Rachel Kaiser to come up and pray the invocation.
I'd like to first read out of Deuteronomy 31:8. And the Lord, He is the one who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be dismayed. Dear Heavenly Father, I just pray that you be in this place today, that you be with all of us like you promised in Deuteronomy, that you follow every graduate once they leave this building and once they graduate into whatever they're going into. Just be with us and fill us with faith, fill us with strength, and fill us with you and your love. Amen.
You may be seated. Once again, I want to welcome you to Baccalaureate 2015. This is an event sponsored by the Woodland Lewis River Area Ministerial Association. And just by way of that, if you are a pastor or youth pastor, would you please stand up just so that we can acknowledge your presence today? Thank you very much. Well, Baccalaureate is a special time of coming together and celebrating common faith. We wanted to do it again, we try to do it each year, as a way of just celebrating and honoring our young people, especially our graduates. You probably noticed as they came in, they are a fine looking bunch, don't you think? We're very proud of them, and they worked hard. They've put in their time, put in their studies, and this is the result. They will be graduating later this week. And so we are very excited and proud for each one. We don't know what life holds for each one, but with common encouragement and sharing ideas and so on, we can be there for each other, we can help each other out, and I really hope that will be the attitude of the seniors and of course their parents and families as they make decisions about whether they go on to higher education, whether they go into the military, whether they go right to work. There's just a variety of ways in which a person will follow life. But whatever they endeavor, it is our hope and prayer for each one that they will be successful, that they will have a good life and good things ahead. Even in the bad times, we can still be encouragers to each other. In fact, we count on that even more as life progresses. So with that, we wish them the very best. You will see several seniors up here today participating in the program, and I hope that in and of itself will really make your evening, make your day, because they stepped out in personal faith to be able to share with all of us today. And I, for one, appreciate that, and I know you will too. All right, at this time, we would like to invite Pastor Todd Cloud to come up and read the scripture.
Thank you, Pastor Ford. Lynn gave me the opportunity to read from Old Testament, the book of Joshua. Those of you that may be familiar with the Bible, this is probably one of the biggest leadership transitions, life transitions that happens in this era. Moses has done a phenomenal job leading, but there's transition happening. So Joshua chapter 1, verses 1 through 9. It's after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now then, you and all these people get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I am about to give to them, to the Israelites. I will give you every place that you set your foot, as I promised Moses. Your territory will extend from the desert of Lebanon to the great river Euphrates, to all the Hittite country, to the great sea on the west. No one will be able to stand up against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their forefathers to give to them. Be strong and courageous, verse 7. Be careful to obey all the laws my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from them to the right or to the left, and you will be successful whenever you go. Do not let this book of the law depart from your mouth. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you whenever you go.
Hi, my name is Holly Ford. How should Christians measure success? In the modern world, measurements matter. Newspapers and magazines offer infographics. Congress passes legislation mandating measurable results. And none of us are strangers to the modern tendency to provide a chart or graph, a documented data set to demonstrate effectiveness or lack thereof in life. Now, data, in and of itself, can be used for great good. It can help us identify areas of need. It can help us recognize ineffective programs. It can help us provide feedback for ineffective workers. Jesus himself refers to data as a way to measure results. In the parable of the sower, for instance, he says, "But the seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces a crop, yielding 160 or 30 times what was sown. Similarly, in Jesus' parable of the 10 talents, the master commends the servants who have doubled their money. It seems simple. Successful living is kind of like successful business. The profit multiplies. But I suspect most people know that success isn't always that easy to measure. Jesus himself lost followers on the heels of very hard teachings. The church went through seasons of persecution when numbers dwindled. Success might not be the right word for the lives we live and the work we do. Perhaps faithfulness fits better. The question of success and faithfulness comes up in other realms of life as well. As a member of my family, I have responsibilities to the rest of them, but measuring success doesn't come easy. My success as a family member can't be quantified by the number of times I do this or that task. All I can do is try to serve them faithfully and trust God with the results. Success might well be simply defined as learning what God's purpose for my life are and then faithfully seeking to accomplish them. But ultimately, to measure faithfulness, I don't think Amazon rankings or Google Analytics or the New York Times is very helpful. Rather, I need to ask myself if I am indeed fulfilling those purposes in my life. I won't always know the answer to that question, but if I seek God's guidance and the advice of mature, trusted advisors and educators, I stand a better chance of securing success. And while we may not be successful in every endeavor, we can strive to be faithful, and that is success. Remember, God is not necessarily calling us to succeed, but He is always calling us to be faithful.
I'm Rachel Kaiser, and I'm going to read a poem that I wrote earlier this year called Dedication. D-E-V-I-C-A-T-I-O-N. Dedication. A 10-letter word loaded with truth and persecution. But what does it really mean to be dedicated? Is it to stand strong and true through the easy times and not to bend when times are hard and you have the world against you? So, you see, it isn't just a word, this thing called dedication. It is what He built in you and me by Himself, the creator of creation. We are creatures of habits, and the habits we abide, but what about dedication? Can we truly abide to something that contradicts our lives? For if you abide to ways then you are not dedicated. So, you cannot abide to a Lord who requires your dedication. But that is why He came to us in the form of human man to take away the perfectionist who would hold down our hands so our ways may not get in the way for the Lord's love for us. So, this 10-letter word, dedication, is a choice for you and me. We don't have to be dedicated to receive the love of God, for He loves us no matter what, so isn't that enough? Receive all those gifts we will not see if we choose something else instead of He. But His love for us is just the same, and there's no need for shame. But God dedicated His whole self to us, so why wouldn't we do the same? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jamie, and got some stuff to read to you guys today. I'm going to start out by telling a little story. In 1979, the tugboat Cahaba was heading down a river in the state of Alabama. The current was flowing really fast as the tug's pilot approached the bridge. But this bridge was broken and it wouldn't open for him to go under. He had to turn around. But he was quickly closing on the bridge. So he released his coal barges and slammed his 1,800 horsepower twin engines in reverse to get away. but when the boat turned ever so slightly, the current whipped the boat around sideways and slammed it into the bridge. The boat was then pulled underneath the bridge. But to the astonishment of onlookers, it popped up, like right side up on the other side of the bridge, engines running, pilot intact. Why did this happen? Well, this boat had a 3-foot layer of cement in the bottom of it to help stabilize it. So when the boat went underneath the bridge, it did turn on its side and parts of it did fill with water. But the cement at the bottom of the boat made sure it was upright when it got to the other side. In the same way, our personal faith can help us stay upright, going in the right direction when things get uncomfortable. We have something to rely on, and our faith can help us grow as people. Faith in God is what can help us get through challenging times. For me personally, I just know that having somebody on my side no matter what is a huge comfort, especially now that I'm getting ready to leave Woodland and be on my own for the first time in my life. When most people ask me about college, my first response is probably similar to a lot of yours. I'm super excited for it. And while that is really true, I've also never been more nervous for anything in my life. The amount of responsibility, the idea of being away from everything I know, living in a building with 50 other girls, that terrifies me. But I do know that God is in my corner. And while I don't think this pit in my stomach is going to go away anytime soon, I do know that God has it handled, so I can focus on the fun stuff. The other part that I think is so great about faith is the fact that it can help us grow so much. This is because we can ask questions and interact with God. When I was teaching Sunday school the other day, this 4-year-old kid comes up to me and points at the rug that had different Bible stories on it. He pointed to a picture of heaven and asked me if that's what it looked like. I told him I didn't know because nobody that was currently on earth had been there before. So he just turns to me and without missing a beat asks, "Well, is there a website we can go to look it up on?" I thought this was completely adorable. But the part that I found really cool about this was the fact that he didn't blindly accept my, explanation that heaven actually existed. And he didn't deny that it existed because I didn't know if I'd ever seen it before. He wanted to dig deeper and find out the answer for himself. Excuse me. That's the thing that's great. Having faith doesn't mean that you can't ask questions. It means that you can ask questions, and ultimately, I think that this will help us grow. Life won't always be as easy as we'd like, and we might not know all of the answers, but it is my firm belief that faith in God is what will help you succeed. So if your boat just isn't sailing right, remember who you've got on your side.
Let's have another hand. That was great. Appreciate the hard work and the talent. Thank you for sharing that with us. All right, at this time, you're in for a real treat. Some of you may or may not know Jamie, our speaker, but she is obviously a wonderful representative that we have in the U.S. House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. We have elected her to that, and she's doing a marvelous job. She is always, all the material that I read that comes to me, the updates from her office, continually tell us about how she is working to get Southwest Washington back to work. And she is committed to that, and she does a lot of things promoting that. She watches out for the welfare of our corporations, our businesses in this area, and does a marvelous job with that. In fact, tomorrow in Vancouver, she is hosting, I think, the fifth or sixth, okay, the fifth job fair in Vancouver. So if you are looking, you know someone that's looking, that's at the Vancouver Hilton, I believe. Is that right? The Vancouver Hilton? Yes. Yes. Oh, excuse me, Red Line at the Key, pardon me. But anyway, that's the kind of commitment that Jamie has to us. She is just phenomenal, and she's a wonderful wife and mother, a person of deep faith, and I'm pleased to say also a good friend. Would you give a warm Woodland welcome to Jamie Hilaire-Gomez?
Organized and already had their notes and their essays under here. I'm bringing mine. I don't screw anybody up. It is such a privilege to get to be here. And I'm only going to speak for about an hour, so everybody just settle in. And I heard a baby I keep hearing this little baby chirp, and it sounds just like my baby, so I get kind of quirky and run off stage to see what's going on. It's because it's like I hear her. It's a wonderful sound. My daughter is 22 months and into everything, so when I hear her squeak, I generally go running. She's not obviously here. But. So I was graduating from Prairie High School. I'm going to take this out. There we go. 19 years ago, which I'm sure seems like a really long time to you folks in the front, but folks in the back probably not so long, right? 20 years. I do though feel like it was yesterday. And when I think about it, I probably felt some of the same things you all are feeling now. Excitement, pride, like relief. I made it to the finish line, with what I thought was the finish line. And I don't know about you, but I was scared. I remember when I got my college acceptance letter, I was in my front room, and I opened it up and I was reading it in front of my dad, and my dad goes, "I see that scared little girl look on your face." And I was. I mean, I had no idea what was coming. I had heard it was going to be good, but I did really want to understand, okay, what am I here for? What am I supposed to do? And for as long as I can remember, I had that sense inside of me, that feeling that, and it was what we heard in the song, I want my life to count. I want to make my mark. And I remember exploring ideas. I did internships, I volunteered on things, I went to, I explored a lot of options, searching for my purpose. And I wanted to know why I was born. And when you come to those important markers in your life, like this week for many of you in the front, you'll find yourself asking that question, why am I here? Sammy Tippett, he's a pastor, preacher, and author, he said, I'm going to quote him, "The greatest discovery that a person can make is found in the knowledge of why he or she was created. And in that same way, the greatest tragedy in life is for one to live without knowing why they were created. Value and worth are directly related to your purpose. A car that doesn't transport is worth little because it doesn't do that for which it was created. A pen that doesn't write is useless because it doesn't accomplish its purpose. And a person that does not fulfill what he or she was intended for or created for is the most miserable of all. Miles Monroe, another author, said it a little bit differently. He said, the poorest man in the world is the man without a dream, and the most frustrated man in the world is the man with a dream that never becomes a reality. Monroe tells a story. I read this, I must have been just out of high school when I found this book. He tells a story about walking into an old cemetery and perusing the historic grave sites. And if you're a history geek like I am, you've done the same thing. I think he had time in between meetings. And he was in a different city. He was wandering through just reading the headstones. And he came upon the headstone of a 4-year-old boy and thought, oh, how horrible, how tragic that some young person was unable to fulfill and release his potential. And as he stood over that cemetery full of gravestones of people who were 50, 60, 70 years old, the thought struck him, is it not a greater tragedy if those who live to an old age also carried their books, art, music, inventions, dreams, and potential to the grave without releasing it? You know, when we're born, we have a specific set of DNA. It's unique. We have unique fingerprints. Our looks may resemble our parents or our siblings, but we are all, every single one of us, born one of a kind, and we are brimming with potential. All of us, even those infants who are born into tragedy and dysfunction. The key to success, to a joy-filled, productive life, I believe, is to seek out that potential and to put it into action. It's then that we're able to live in peace and prosperity, both for our own benefits, but also to benefit our community, our nation, and even the nations of the world. Now, some of you may be thinking, that all sounds great, I follow what you're saying, but how do I actually discover my potential and discover my purpose and fulfill my potential? Or if by chance you're not one of our graduating seniors, you're perhaps one of the more seasoned among us today, you may be asking the same question. See, this isn't just for the young. If you haven't answered the question, it continues to be asked throughout our lifetime. And I believe that it'll never go away, regardless of age. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, he has also set eternity in the human heart. It's a question that can't be left unanswered. So find your purpose doesn't mean that you need to know today what your career is going to be, or what your job's going to be, or even probably what your major is going to be. Start by finding out what you love and what you care about. That's where your passion is. What are you good at? What are you naturally inclined to do? What is it that piques your interest? Sometimes the lucky among us know from a really early age what we want to be. You know, a musician. I mean, you're probably all thinking about a friend or a classmate who you've always known what they're going to do. Maybe they've wanted to be a doctor or singer. It's usually apparent by someone's natural giftings. For others, it comes with time and a trip through the University of Life, one that we all have to attend. Following your passion is going to put you on the right course for your purpose. But I believe you also have to know your source, and if you're going to find out what you were made to do. I can tell you about my source. Having a relationship with Jesus has given my life meaning and purpose. It has led to me releasing my potential, which is to serve others. You know, my natural inclinations, the things I was interested in, American history and politics, have always driven me, and they've been an outflow of that desire to serve. That passion has caused me to take some risks. Some have worked out, some have not, but ultimately I can tell you that I am 100% fulfilled, knowing that I'm in the center of God's purpose for my life. And I count myself extremely blessed to get to do what I love. When I think back to graduating from Prairie High School, in my wildest dreams, I could not have imagined that I get to serve as this region's representative in Congress. Staying true to my purpose, serving others, and not being afraid when that window of opportunity opens itself has led me to where I'm at today. But that is the amazing thing about potential, is nobody really knows what you're capable of when you put your mind to it. I think about someone like Abraham Lincoln. Today, history looks at him as the great emancipator. He saved the Union, a tremendous, thoughtful leader. But his beginnings were really, really humble. He didn't come from wealth or education or a super functional family. He lost more political races than he won, and his resilience was astounding. I think that's what really set him apart. He said, I will walk slowly, but I never walk backwards. We have limitless potential. I mean, I know you're hearing that a lot in this season, but the more I see, the more I realize it is true, limitless. We often I think where we get stuck is we let resistance or adversity deter us from what we can truly accomplish. I'm really glad that Abraham Lincoln, despite having a wife who had a major mental illness, he lost his son, he was carrying the weight of a really unpopular war that it had no end in sight. I'm really glad that he decided to persevere. And the world is full of stories like this. One thing I want to leave you with is if you're truly passionate about something, be persistent. Do not take no for an answer. This has been a key for me. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the richest. I don't come from the most connected family, but knowing what I wanted and not being willing to take no has really allowed those doors of opportunity to burst open. You know, Bill Gates' first business failed. Imagine the tech sector if Bill Gates would have just walked away. Bethany Hamilton, her arm was bitten off by a shark while she was surfing when she was 13, but she kept on doing it, and she has gone on to win surfing championships. Stephen King's first novel, this is probably more the back of the room would get this one, was rejected 30 times. Now he's sold over 350 million copies of his books. And you know, persistence is not just for professional aspirations, it's just as important in your personal lives. I think about, coming to a conclusion, I think about a woman named Wilma. She was born in the South. She was born the 20th of 22 children in a poor black family in the segregated South. She got polio as a child, and that made it to where she was unable to walk without braces until she was 12. She battled measles, pneumonia, and other sicknesses that would often really threaten her life, and doctors said she would never truly be able to function. I've learned a thing or two about not always accepting what a doctor says. She spent hours each day doing physical therapy to overcome her disability. And for any doctors in the audience, we love you. We just recognize sometimes, you know, you can't take no for an answer. Many times, the rehab that she did left her at home as she wasn't allowed in the white hospitals in town, and her parents couldn't afford to drive her the 50 miles to the closest black hospital. During this time, she would go with her brothers and sisters, because she had a lot of them, to basketball games and track meets, and she would dream of being an athlete, despite the fact that she couldn't even walk. And at age 12, after years of blood, sweat, and tears, she was able to shed her braces and join her sister on the high school basketball team. She started in about 7th grade. She didn't play in a game for 3 years. Wilma never questioned her purpose and her commitment, however, and that senior year, she was starting on track to set state records, both in basketball and in track. Wilma Rudolph went on to be the first woman ever to win 3 gold medals in one Olympics by winning the 100-meter dash, the 200-meter dash, and the 400-meter relay. She spent much of her childhood in those awful braces and was completely unable to walk, and was now considered the fastest woman in the world. When she came back to her hometown in Clarksville, Tennessee, after her Olympic victory, she was so beloved that her celebration parade was the first integrated event in the town's history, and that was her request. Her feats helped her hometown overcome years and years of hatred that had festered long before she was there. And that's an important point. When you're willing to push through and fulfill your potential, it's not just going to benefit you. Yes, you're going to get to be fulfilled and you're going to find your success, but it's really going to bless the people around you when your gifts are released. They assist everyone else. She went on to establish her own foundation and helped thousands of children who grew up in poverty achieve those dreams. And what did she say about potential? She said, never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence of the human spirit. We are all the same in this nation. The potential for greatness lives in each one of us, and I could not agree more. And I want you to understand that your persistence, your hard work, those are the things that are going to set you apart, and we desperately need you. In this country, we need the next generation of leaders who are willing to release their God-given potential. And we need to see you fight to unlock your talents. We need people who are willing to serve in our communities. We need innovators. We need investors. We need the people who are going to invent the next generation of life-saving technology. We need the next generation of researchers who are going to find the cures to the things that are plaguing us. We need educators who are going to continue to equip the next generation with not just academics, but with integrity and with character. We desperately need men and women of character in politics. And we need those people who are going to step up and serve our nation and defend us. We have such a need for you. And the question is whether or not you are going to be the ones that push through. Who knows? Hopefully one of you will take my job. Or maybe somebody wants to be the President of the United States. It's really all within you. It doesn't really matter where you came from. It matters what you're willing to do to achieve and unlock that potential. So it really excites me to look around this room and to see these young faces and to think about how your greatness is going to manifest and the contributions each of you are going to make, not just to this country, but to the nations of the world. So with that, it's a privilege to get to be here as you're celebrating this milestone. Thank you so much, Reverend Ford, for having me, and I look forward to celebrating with you.
Well, thank you very much, Jamie. I appreciate your comments and your encouragement to our seniors. I just want to say, I was thinking about the song that you guys sang a little bit ago. Of course, Amazing Grace is a wonderful song, but the song I Was Here, I was thinking about that. You had 4 years here at the high school, and that's just the beginning. As time marches on and we see footprints in the sand, if you will, you're going to look back and you're going to see that you did make a difference, that you had an impact. And certainly time will tell for here at the high school, but beyond, where you left your mark. And I would encourage you to, whatever you do it to the best of your ability. Stay with it. Don't give up. There's a lot of forces out there that would want you to quit and give it up and not even try. But when I look at you guys, I see such potential, such promise. And with your resolve, with your tenacity and a basic faith in God, you're invincible. You'll be able to make it. And I just am so proud of all of you. Lord bless you as you proceed on from here and as you graduate on Friday night. I want to remind the seniors especially that as you retire out in just a moment, the Gideons International are here, and they will be giving as a gift to you a New Testament. And I encourage you to take that and treasure that and read it and let that be a guide for your life. We thank the Gideons for taking the time to come and to do that for us. I also want to say and remind you that immediately following, right across into the gymnasium, there is a reception, cupcakes and refreshments to bless the seniors. But we want parents, we want guests, everyone who can to come and be a part of that and to give your encouragement and your best wishes to the seniors in a personal way. And you can do that in the reception immediately following. I'm going to do one thing. Seniors, if you'll stand. And I'm going to say, do an about face so that you're all looking out at our audience. And audience, give them a standing O. Seniors, would you remain standing, audience? Seniors, go ahead and file on out. Go straight out to the lobby and into the gymnasium. We pray, Father, that you will touch their lives, that you will guide them, that you will just be instrumental in helping them make decisions, Lord, that will lead them to a good life, to a successful life. And we understand that success is not measured by worldly terms, but it's by your terms. And I pray that you will help them, that you will give them just a wonderful time as they decide, Lord, what they're going to be doing in life. And then, Father, bring it to prosperity, bring it to a success. And may they give you the honor and the glory for that. We ask this, Lord, in your name. Amen. You are dismissed. Thank you for coming.
Set one off and show how to do it. Wait, how do you do it? Bobby did it. Point him straight up, not it. Anyone? Step down. We'll count to 3. Everyone ready? No, wait! Okay.